Hey guys, Captain Smash Strength Lab, Ottawa, Ontario. So today's blog topic is sports-specific training. So a lot of controversy on sports-specific training. I like to think that there is no such thing as sports-specific training in per se as and a whole bunch of people are gonna hate on me right now, but training in for strength and conditioning is not designed to improve upon your ability to play a sport. It's designed to help get you stronger, produce more force, produce more power, be more cardiovascularly efficient, or have better overall metabolic capacity and workload. So sport specific, like the SAID principle, specific adaptation to imposed demands, says that basically your body adapts to what you impose it to do. So if I'm going to do sprint training, then theoretically I'm going to get faster at sprinting. If I'm going to play a particular sport, say I play football, I'm going to get better at playing football. If I'm going to be a powerlifter, I am going to shoot for getting better at bench press, deadlifts, and squats. So it's not necessarily about training specifically for that particular sport, because if you look at the sports continuum on a pyramid, okay? And I can't remember who came up with this concept, but he was a genius, because overall, you have a common set of things that you do, right? You have your GPP, okay? This is like your run, your lift, your jump, your swim, pretty much all those basic human movements that we do. They form up the base of the pyramid. That's why when we have kids that are young, we want to get them moving early on and impose a lot of different demands upon their bodies. We want them to swim, we want them to jump, we want them to run, we want them to walk, we want them to push, pull, all that stuff. That way they develop a good base so that they can continue on doing lots of different types of sporting activities and not be limited by one particular movement pattern. So, and here's where I have a big problem with hockey moms and dads that want to throw their kids in hockey on a year-long program. It's silly. They don't develop anything other than handling puck skills and being able to skate really well. And that's it. You throw a kid in that's good at hockey into the pool, he can't swim worth a lick. And throw him out on the track, he can't run worth a lick either, because he's designed to do hockey. So movement patterns at a younger age develop that general preparation and the GPP, can't even talk today, and that forms our base of our pyramid. If you start with a strong base, you're going to develop into a better quality athlete. So now, as we move up this sports pyramid, and levels of specificity, you have your strength training that's slightly above there. So now this is all the stuff that we do in the gym. So like the stuff we do in the lab. We deadlift, we squat, we bench press, we push press, we shoulder press, we row, all those things that prepare our muscles to get them stronger, be able to produce more force, and be able to withstand a load, or give and take a load, as it were, on the playing field. So now, all these skills, being able to produce more force, make us a better quality athlete. They help us, we're stronger. If we can put more force into the ground, we can run faster. If we can put more force in the ground, we can jump higher. That is what strength training is designed to do. It makes you more powerful, more resilient, and stronger, okay? So it's telling me that sports-specific training, okay, well, a squat is going to be the same for a football player as it is going to be for a basketball player. You're simply training the legs and the core to be able to load up the tissues, drop it down into a low enough squat position to strengthen the legs and produce more power, more force into the floor, or more force into the bar, however you're doing it. So there we go. Now, as we go up, depending on your sport, is going to depend on your level of practice. Practicing that sport in particular, whether it's hockey or football or basketball, is going to make you better at that sport. That's what your team sports are designed to do. You go to practice, you go to baseball practice and football practice, so you can get better at performing your sport, okay? And then we have the peak of the pyramid, which is your performance. This is basically your gameplay. This is where you're excelling and you're actually playing the sport, okay? So the term sport-specific training, this is your sport-specific training, okay? You're in the gym, you're lifting weights, you're rowing, you're pushing, you're pulling, you're squatting, you're lunging, you're doing rotational movements, you're doing heavy carries. You're doing stuff to build up the body, make yourself more resilient, produce more force, produce faster force or power. That is sport-specific training, okay? And it's all the same. You can do generally just about the same things for a football player as you can do for a hockey player, right? Within certain limitations. Now, granted, you want to take a little bit from that particular movement pattern or metabolic system that that athlete is using. So a football player, for example, is going to run, say, a lineman. You know, what's his job? His job is to run, explode off the line, hit the other guy, block the other guy, or get through and tackle the quarterback, the receiver, whoever. So they need to have a lot of quick, burst-like strength and power. They need to be able to move fast, and they need to be able to do it in about 10 seconds or less. So overall, their training program should be metabolically efficient to producing very short amounts of high power, okay? So 10 seconds or less, maximal power. How do you do that in weightlifting? Okay, power cleans, snatches. I think the most sport specific you can get is pushing the prowler, right? So that is probably the closest that you're gonna get to practice in the weight room is pushing the prowler for a football player, okay? What would it be for a hockey player? Okay, they do a lot of lateral movements. They need to be able to be both aerobically efficient, but also anaerobically efficient for skating down the ice at a rapid pace, okay? So maybe doing resisted side shuttles, you know, that might be more sport specific than say doing just a lateral lunge. It doesn't mean you neglect the areas of strength training, but during a sport competitive season, you might have to practice some of those very familiar moves to make them better. Now, the problem lies in like taking a movement that is entirely focused on the athlete themselves. So like, let's take a baseball player swinging a bat, right? You know, it was once thought that you could swing a heavy bat and make the muscles for swinging that much better. But research has found that that's very inefficient because what happens is you change the movement pattern as you're doing the swing. So you want to choose movement patterns that are fairly similar if you're looking for sport-specific training, but not the same thing because you'll change the movement entirely. Same thing was found with using basketball players and loading them up with a heavier ball. They get a hold of a light ball, like a regular competition ball, and they overshoot the basket because now their arm is conditioned to shoot a 10-pound ball versus a very light, 10-ounce ball. It doesn't make sense, right? So keep strength training in its realm. Use that to get more powerful and stronger and produce more force into the floor. Use your practice in your particular sport to get better at your sport, right? That's why we have strength coaches, and that's why we have football coaches, hockey coaches, baseball coaches. Those guys are designed to get you better at playing your sport. I'm designed to get better at being in the weight room and lifting correctly and safely and building a stronger, more powerful body that is capable of both receiving force and giving force away. That's the difference in sport-specific training from my realm. So people may have problems with this. Go ahead, DM me a message. I will try to shed some light on this theory for you, but this is really the real deal, okay? GPP, strength training specific, you got your practice, and then you got performance or game. That's really where you make the end state. So, sport-specific training in a nutshell. Thanks so much. If you like this video, give it a like, and if you think somebody else might like it, give it a share. Check you later.